Yeah, I'm on my way to the gym, but drinking my energy drink before I go in. And while I do that, I'd love to have a conversation with you guys about a topic that we kind of went over in my mentorship. I want to bring it up because some of you guys are making mistakes, man. I've made videos where I talk about how important the ship you're on is. There are 3 things that I teach students in our mentorship that you have to look for in order to know that you're on the right ship. And a lot of people don't understand having a low ceiling in what's possible in your career is what matters most. Some of you guys will take a $120 booth rent, $150 booth rent, will care whether it's commission or not. However the compensation plan is, you'll care about that more than you'll care about what's possible in 2 to 3 years, what's possible in 3 to 5 years, what's possible in 5 to 10 years. And this isn't just a barber thing. This is just a people thing. This is a society thing. We just don't like delayed gratification, and we don't really look towards the future, because if we did, most of you guys wouldn't have financial issues. Most of you guys wouldn't have relationship issues. A lot of issues that you have in your life would be solved had you had a tolerance for delayed gratification. And so I want to kind of go into a little bit of a story time. I was talking to a barbershop owner that I'm helping to mentor. Man, he's already turned over a new leaf. He's hit the ground running. He's excited. Shop is about to be crazy, about to open his second location, all that good stuff, right? Well, not a second location, about to move to a new location where it's gonna be bigger, grander, better, I believe. His barbershop starts at 60-40 commission. And I know right away barbers are like, but one thing that he didn't really have a plan, he didn't have really a roadmap, a system in place, was how do I keep my barbers? And one thing that I tell shop owners all the time, in order to keep your barbers, you have to have a platform where people don't have to leave you in order to get to the next level. People don't have to leave your platform in order to grow. Think about that for a second. If me as the shop owner right now, you're obviously an ambitious person, you look for more, all that good stuff, right? You're trying to grow. There's a lot of entrepreneurs in our industry that want to continue to grow. If you were working under your leadership, would you eventually have to leave to do the things you're doing today? A lot of people join your team because there's something that you're doing that has attracted that person to you and to work under your leadership. And so you got to ask yourself, am I putting people in a position where they can grow? And at what point can't I help them grow? Because that's the point that people are going to have to break away from you in order to continue to grow. It's nothing against you as the shop owner. You shouldn't take it personal like a lot of shop owners do, but you have to be some shop owners, they gotta be real with themselves and realize it's my fault that some guys are leaving because I haven't put them in a position where they don't have to leave to continue to grow. And so you have to identify that in your own business. But then there's shop owners who, when you first come in, there is a compensation plan. Like I said, this particular shop owner I'm talking about, his compensation plan is at commission. I told him with commission models, there's so many levels where people are going to reach and they're going to have to leave you. So we have to address that. We have to fix that. And so he did fix that. And recently he interviewed a young individual to work at his shop. He's got a beautiful shop, by the way. He's asking this individual about their goals, and he's speaking to this individual about how badly he wants to support that individual to reach their goals. His goal is to help them reach their goals. His goal is to help them reach 6 figures or better, eventually purchase their own house, invest, health insurance, all that good stuff. Everything you dream of having in your career, he wants to help you do. And the only way that's possible is at some point you can get raises, right? And so maybe it's a 60-40 model in the beginning, then 70-30, then 80-20, then it's booth rent, then it's a management position, and maybe you're paying a discounted booth rent, and then maybe you become a shop owner and he helps you create that shop. But the individual who was being interviewed was so stuck on that 60-40, they shut everything else down. And the individual said these famous words that barbers love using: I know my worth. I know my worth. I'm not doing 60-40. And the shop owner was confused because he's thinking, when I went to open my own barbershop, I didn't get to say to the landlord that I'm negotiating the lease with, nah, I ain't doing that. I know my worth. No, the shop owner said these terms aren't the most favorable terms in the world. That's cool. There's got to be some compromise between the two of us, but I'm willing to bet on myself since I know my worth, right? And I know the ceiling's high. And so I'm going to go do this and I'm going to accomplish all my goals. A lot of barbers, they know their worth, and they see 60-40 and they're listening to a shop owner that doesn't even want you to be at 60-40. That's just how his system is set up. When you first come in, you don't have a clientele. He's going to help you build it. He's going to invest more money into you, all that good stuff. The goal is he's failed you if you're still at 60-40, or you failed him and yourself if you're still at 60-40 long term. It is a short term thing to be at that 60-40 and there is a plan, there is a blueprint, and he's going to empower you and invest in you to get to the next level, to the next level, to the next level until you've reached your goals. But this person just couldn't see past 60-40, and I can tell you, they ain't no shop owners. There are few in between, bro, that talk like this. As far as shop owners, most shop owners are like, bro, show up to work, these are your hours, you gotta cut some hair, this is the commission, that's it. There's no plan, there's no blueprint, you're on your own, you're an independent contractor. Oh, boo friend, forget about it. It's not my job to build your clientele. You are an independent contractor, you're renting your space, you're on your own, buddy, it's your responsibility. And I'm sure in the comment sections, you're gonna see it a lot, you'll see a lot of comments that will relate to what I'm saying as far as shop owners who just, as long as everything's going good for them as an individual, they don't care about nobody else. It's not like they don't care as if, they're bad people. It's just human nature. I'm booked, I'm solid. If I did it, you can do it too. You're paying booth rent. I'll tell you what you should do, but you got to go do it. You're self-employed. And so it blows my mind because there's so many barbers that are like this, man, that will just look at what they're getting now with no thought. Definitely no plan, but definitely no thought either about what do things look like a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. It's much better to be in a better position a few years from now at a higher level and then have that for the rest of your life than it is to get a couple points today, but then you're stagnant the rest of your life. And I see that in the barbering industry so much, guys, where there's guys who say, I've been doing this for 20 years, 25 years, 30 years. Bro, what you were doing, but these are the same individuals that doing the same thing 30 years later, they were doing 2 years after they started their career. They grew their first year, they grew their second year, and then after that, they were stagnant for 30 years, 20 years. Don't be that guy, guys. Think about your future. When you're choosing the shop that you're gonna work with, the team you're gonna work with, you got to think long term. You got to think long term. And that's why I tell you guys, like when I'm interviewing, it's a turn off when people ask right away, when their main focus is what is booth rent, what is commission, what's the compensation plan. When that's the main focus, I'm not saying don't ask it. I'm saying when that's your main focus, that's your biggest question, I question the type of person you are because you're obviously not a delayed gratification person. It screams not long-term thinking because my biggest questions would be goal-oriented, long-term oriented, and that's what I would be focusing on. Not to say that it's a deal breaker, it's just a red flag sometimes. But yeah, this is why I tell you guys, I don't care if it's commission, if it's booth rent, none of that shit matters. Like when people say these blank statements in forums, on Instagram, and even in my comment sections, booth rent's the best, or I'll never do commission. How can you guys say that if you don't know the full picture? How can you say that if you don't know the full picture? You're thinking too short term, too limited, man. Because there's also shop owners that they know their work. I don't do it, but I could totally see somebody who has my experience, my expertise, and the platform to help barbers really multiply their success. I could totally see a guy like me charging a premium to work at one of my shops because I know my worth. But my worth is data backed. It's backed by data, it's backed by results, it's backed by experience, it's not backed by feelings. I could totally see a shop owner like myself charging a premium for booth rent or charging a premium for commission or having a system where, and we 50-50 in the beginning because I'm gonna give you so much work and so much wisdom and so much growth that it's 50-50 in the beginning and we'll work our way up from there. Totally see it. I would take that as long as there is a roadmap in place that I can see and I know that there is a plan. I'm taking that over the $120 booth rent. Think about what doctors have to go through to be in the position to make a couple $100,000 a year, a few $100,000 a year. You're talking about 10 years of schooling. You're talking about what we would call apprenticeship in barbering. After that, for a couple years, hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt to finally be in a position to make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. You gotta have delayed gratification like a mother to be a doctor, but they sacrifice a little in the beginning, so in the long term, they're in a position that most barbers can't be in, most people can't be in. And so that's just my message for y'all today, man. I just wanted to share that because a younger version of myself is watching this video right now, and I wanna give that person gems I wish I would've received early on. It's cool to learn things from experience, but it's really cool to leverage other people's experiences and grow your wisdom without having to take on as many failures, right? So, all right, guys, all love. I'll see you guys on the next video.